Greetings and blessings, Crawford Ashley, the spiritual boxer, and I'm going to be talking about boxing as I always do. Well, it's going to be story time. I'm going to tell you a little story about when I retired and why I retired. Yeah, and the aftermath of what happened, basically, and it's weird because leading up to the last fight, Sebastian Hoffman's fight, I wasn't really enjoying it. I never really enjoyed training, but I enjoyed preparing for the fight. I enjoyed putting my body through all that hard work that I needed to do to push it, to see how it responded. And then when I was in the fight, it was weird. It was like I was seeing openings, but I wasn't getting there quick enough. And I was seeing shots that were hitting me, but I didn't see the one that knocked me out. And I just knew it was a place that I wanted to be, but I wasn't good enough. I wanted to compete. My whole thing was competing at the highest level against the best, and I just wasn't good enough anymore. And for me, I'd made myself a promise. I wanted two things out of boxing. One, a Lonsdale belt, and two, when I retired, not to make any comebacks. And I've achieved both of them. But the last one, comebacks, was one of the hardest ones to do. I was depressed, man. I'm on about, I didn't want to be on this planet anymore. I was 37, and I remember being in the dressing room. That is the only time I actually knew I was going to retire, was in the dressing room. I never planned it, never thought about it or anything. And I was offered a return match with him in South Africa, and the voice just came out of my mouth and just said, "No, we're finished." And I said, "I've finished, I'm done." And that was it. As soon as them words came out of my mouth, I knew I couldn't break the promise to myself. But what do? Who are you? Crawford Ashley, the boxer. I don't box. I left school with no qualifications, got no job, no. And people said I didn't have a plan for the future. Well, my future was what my managers were telling me. Your next fight's the big fight. You're going to get a lot for the next one. And it were always the next one. Oh, this pulled out. We have to give you this one, but we can't pay you the same amount of money. And all that to me was bollocks. They were just lying, but I just wanted to fight. I just wanted to test myself. And these managers and promoters knew that, but they just wanted to hold you back because, why? Because they've got no control over you. And then he comes to this stage where you're at now, where I'm 57. I've got no qualifications, but I've had 50 years in the sport of boxing. I'm coming back into it now with absolute zero. And I've got a Lonsdale belt down there. And I have had sleepless nights because I'm thinking about selling it. Because, as people know, I got my son Theo, who wants to box. And he seems to have them same attributes as me. He wants to test himself against the best. And I want to be able to train him full time in September when he leaves uni. Because that's what he wants to do. He wants to go full time. So I need to sort of like set something up, which on this channel, people know I'm doing training, personal one-on-one now, or I'll do small classes, or I can come and give talks and that. Because like I said, I've got 50 years of experience in the game of boxing as I was taught it back in the day by somebody who had boxed. And all you ex-boxers out there, especially in Leeds, my trainer was Tommy Bergen, and he were a boxer, he were a dancer, taught us movement, balance, how to transfer the weight, how to get into a flow. Yeah, boxing back in the days, if you get in it, you're doing something wrong, move. Now it doesn't seem like that. So, yeah, basically, I'm looking for some work, and I love boxing, I love teaching boxing, I've got a passion for it. It's something I know, it's something I understand, it's something I've been working on all my life. Even though I didn't box for a period of time, boxing was still in my head, it was a part of who I was. Because it's spiritual, it's about finding out who you are, overcoming them demons in your head. That's what it's about. Anyway, back to business. I did a refereeing course for Bieber. It's weird because I can't even afford to pay for it, but the man let me do it until I can afford to pay for it, then I can get some work. But this is basically a cry for help. People say that men don't stand up and speak. But sometimes when you do speak, I don't give a flying fuck about people anyway and what they think. You know. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. I'm looking at setting up a company called Spiritual Boxing Company. And my long-term, short-term is to basically start doing talks, go around to boxing, giving classes, teaching coaches how to do the pads. Not slap them, but teach them properly. If you haven't boxed before, I don't mean you can't be a good coach, but learn from people who have. You know what I mean? And wrapping hands. How many people know how to wrap hands? I've seen so many people in the gyms I go to, they wrap their hands wrong, and then their hands hurt. You know, I'm running courses on how to wrap hands, how to wrap your own hands if you're a boxer. If you're a trainer, how to wrap your fighter's hands. You know, learn from people who've got the experience, and that's what I want to set up. I want to get people together who've got the experience to do this, who can go out and teach it. There's a lot of things I've got that I want to do, but it all starts somewhere. Like I said, I want to start training Theo full-time in September. So I'm opening up to personal one-on-one talks, whatever. You know, if you want to have a laugh, if you want to do pads, if you want to learn to wrap your hands, or if you want to learn to train. You know, I can teach trainers to train. You know, I've taught in India when I was over there. When I was in Thailand, I was teaching boxing, not Thai boxing because they know how to do that, but that's a different sport. Completely different setup. How you stand is different. Punching and generating power is kind of like similar, but you got to do it from a different position in Thai boxing. Anyway, I'm going off track. But there's a lot of things that I think are wrong with boxing, and one of them is when you're getting it, bite on your gum shield and, you know what I mean, suck it up. I don't see that. If you're doing something and it's not working, change it. You know, if you've got a game plan and the game plan don't work, throw the game plan away. It doesn't matter. I remember my first ever loss was to a kid called Glass Gamble, and in his corner was Bob Paget, who was my trainer, well not a trainer, he was my guru. And we had a conversation and he told me that what he said to Glass Campbell after the first round. He says, when Glass came back to the first round, I says to him, you know that game plan we was working on? When he said, forget it, throw it out the window, just go and have a tear up. And that's what happens. Sometimes game plans don't work, but don't stick to them. And it seems like cornermen nowadays can't really say that, forget the game plan. You go do what you do best. Because that's all I think of. A good fighter, a great fighter, does what he does best. Don't have a game plan. You know what I mean? Each round is a different round, and they play it out the way they want to play it out. But like I say, I'm looking for some work. I need to earn some money. So if you like the vibe, then subscribe, trying to get this monetized as well. And if you want to buy me a cup of coffee, my PayPal account is at the chilling line. It'd be nice. I give you a little bit of entertainment for a little bit of payment. Anyway, I got things that I need to sort out. I'm still working on this business and ideas and how to take it, because my long term is to set up a place for retired boxers and ex-boxers who are suffering. You know, I've got a place I've got land in Jamaica, and I think it'd be ideal to go completely reset. You know, have it completely off grid, and they can help build it as well, build their own cabin, because I want it out of bamboo. I don't want anything permanent. I don't want to build concrete huts. I want to build it out of bamboo, so it all can just go back to natural when we've left. Anyway, like I say, if you like the vibe, then subscribe. I'm not one of these type of people who get into rants and raves about things, because it seems like people want to see you bust the blood vessel. I'm not one of them. You know what I mean? I go quiet. And the Xbox is the leads. Thanks for the invite again. Bye.